The remarkable statue found in a Roman sewer in the ancient city of Heraclea Sintica might not depict Hermes after all. But if this is not Hermes, then who is it? The discovery of the statue standing over 6 feet and 5 inches tall in a sewer was quite surprising, as one can imagine, and if you want to know more about how it was found, check my previous video on this topic. Initially, Lyudmil Vagalinski, who leads the archaeological team in Heraclea Sintica in modern-day Bulgaria, believed the statue likely portrays the Olympian deity Hermes. However, after closely inspecting the sculpture following its extraction, he claims that its facial features suggest it is a heroized portrait of a real person, somebody of very high status, possibly a ruler. It might also be 200 years older than previously thought. When it was still partially buried, archaeologists assumed it was a 2nd century sculpture, but now they think it possibly dates back to the 1st century BC. Depictions of individuals as mythological heroes or deities were not uncommon in ancient Rome. There are multiple examples of them, so let's take a look just at statues resembling the one found in Heraclea Sintica. Here is a marble sculpture of Marcellus the Younger as Hermes Logios, the god of eloquence. It was made around the year 20 BC, 2 years after Marcellus's death, and possibly ordered by his uncle, Roman Emperor Augustus, as a funerary monument. Augustus was also depicted in a similar heroic pose. However, in this case, an old sculpture of a Roman general was recycled. In about 31 BC, the original head was replaced with that representing Augustus. At that time he was still known as Octavian, as he wasn't an emperor yet. In fact, he used several different names and titles, but that is not the topic of this video. Here's another one, a heroic statue of Domitian as a prince, made sometime between 70 and 80 AD. And here is a statue of Diomedes, but with the head of Emperor Lucius Verus, dating from approximately the time of his reign, from 161 to 169 AD. And a bronze statue of Emperor Trebonianus Gallus, which dates to the mid-3rd century. You can see the pattern. They are all depicted nude apart from wearing small chlamys, a type of cloak over their left arm and shoulder. Their pose is also characteristic. The figures are standing with most of their weight on one foot. This is called contrapposto and first appears in art in ancient Greece in the early 5th century BC. The style was further developed and popularized by sculptors in the Hellenistic and Imperial Roman periods. The statue found in the sewer is also an example of this artistic style. Suppose the sculpture from Heraclea Sintica indeed portrays an emperor. In that case, we should compare it with surviving examples of emperors' depictions from the 1st century BC to the 2nd century AD, as that is the assumed time frame in which the statue was made. I slightly digitally restored the sculpture's face. Keep in mind though, I'm not a professional graphic artist, and I've only seen it in pictures, so this may not be an accurate representation of what it would have looked like undamaged. But this is the best I've got. This is a face of a young man, with large eyes, a relatively prominent brow ridge, full lips and short, not very curly hair. We can't be sure of the shape of the nose. Of all the emperors who ruled approximately at the time when the statue was made, a few stand out as somewhat similar to the person depicted in the sculpture. Here are some contemporary busts of Emperor Augustus in his prime. He reigned from 27 BC to 14 AD. This is young Tiberius, who was an emperor between 14 and 37 AD. And here he is in his prime. Here is Emperor Gaius, better known as Caligula. He ruled between 37 and 41 AD. This is young Nero, an emperor from 54 to 68 AD. But then this happened. And finally, Emperor Domitian, who reigned between 81 and 96 AD. What do you think? Can the statue from Heraclea Sintica depict one of them? It is not as refined as the sculptures I presented here, and we should take into account that not all artistic representations of people are very realistic, so they may differ. However, in my opinion, it would still be a difficult argument to make that this is one of those emperors. There is a possibility that the statue depicts a local leader or a noble. I also think that at this point we shouldn't rule out that this is a statue of Hermes, as there are similar sculptures of this deity surviving from antiquity. For example, the Kew Gardens Hermes, now on display in the British Museum. The Atlanti Hermes kept in the Archaeological Museum of Athens. Hermes Richelieu, which can be viewed in the Louvre. Or the statue of Hermes displayed at the Met Museum. All this is to show that it will be very challenging to determine with certainty who is depicted in the sculpture found in Heraclea Sintica. Unless an inscription telling us that is uncovered during the restoration of the statue, we may never know. But I know one thing for sure. I would much appreciate it if you hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. It is the best way to let me know you actually enjoy videos I make, and that's what motivates me to keep going. Thanks for watching, and until next time.